Hello and welcome to session 21 of Dreamers of Kiriak. We are playing online for once because of some sickness that will hopefully not last too much longer for our poor players. We are joined by Aaron, George, Jordan, and Stephanie, and let me see, when we last played, let me grab the binder because I don't have my binder. Yeah.
This is the first time you haven't been confused about what session we're on.
That only happens when we play in person.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it doesn't explain anything.
Hey, loaded.
I didn't hear a word you may have said in the last, 5 seconds, but I have my binder now.
I see a majestic horse.
That means it's working.
Or you're having a stroke.
Yes, if
Should
you
he
see
be
a
talking
horse
to me
and
right
smell
now?
toast, then you're having a stroke.
What if I see toast and smell horse?
Then you're having a course. An S-talk is what you're having. So you went to the island previously, and you talked with the dude. The dude was doing some shenanigans, and I didn't care for that. He was just kind of he just kind of stood there. He kind of just stepped out of the air, and he's like, "Hey, boys, I'm not a big fan of the way that you seem to be turning into gods. Would you mind continuing to do that, though? And just kill some other ones, doing pretty much the thing that you were planning on doing anyway." And you guys were like, I mean, sure, I guess. And you're like, can you maybe spare a crumb of cultists? And he's like, I mean, I guess. And then he gave you some orphans. And said, you could wait for instructions from him. And then he'll tell you the thing that he wants you to do. And he was telling you that it's not a great thing that the saints are around, because what did he say? They're becoming no longer people, I think is what he said. Like the rebellion that happened some years ago, which all of you would have been alive for, they went out and kind of just wasted the enemies and kind of mind wiped the people who were plotting against them, and just invaded the minds of everybody and set up the current status quo. And the captain, Goras's captain, I suppose, was also Salir's captain. I don't remember if it was exactly his captain either. I truly don't remember. It was like, yeah, we kind of can't ever call them out to do stuff like that again. They've been warped or whatever by the passage of time, and we need to set up a new system. And that was kind of it. Is there anything that I am forgetting?
Still missing my 2 orphans.
Are you missing your 2 orphans? I thought they gave you your 2 orphans.
You said my original orphans were not included in that.
Are they not? I thought
the two we saved in the cave originally ran off on their own, apparently.
Yes,
and
that
were
is
not
correct.
Found at the cult.
That is correct, yeah. Yeah, those guys were lost before you guys set out, I believe. They ran away with the cart, and you guys were like, well, they're gone.
What? No.
What happened then? Because I can't remember.
We got them back, and then we entrusted them to the cultists. They went off with the other acolytes.
Oh, then I'm gonna retcon because I didn't remember that happening. If they were with the cultists, then then you get them back also.
Oh, nice.
I just forgot
And the
I forgot you had ever found them after they wandered off.
The lizard hunting orphan, that was among them too?
Yes. Yeah, he would have been very standard. Yes.
So I have 17 orphans now.
It's too many orphans.
It's a lot of orphans. I don't know if I'd say too many.
I think I would say too many.
There's a lot.
How do you manage to feed them all?
Not with bread. We already ruined that plan.
Yes. The bread is very seawatery now.
She makes them fight over 10 berries a day.
Yeah, and the rest
They'll be
are
fine.
the rest are I don't know what the rest cannot eat sawdust. I'm just gonna set that boundary right now. Like I'm just warning you, they are going to die if you try to keep them alive purely on stimulants.
Yep, that's fair.
Well, that was not my plan.
If a good berry is enough food for an adult for a day, can you like chop up the good berries into little bits for kids?
I was just about to ask that.
It's magic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rosa's written absolutely not, but Oshit's a witch, so Oshit, do you have ideas of how you would go about that? What other
Well, I mean,
witchy shenanigans are you going to get up to try to make this work, if that's what you want to do?
could you not just kind of blend up all the good berries and then you have like just divide the good berry soup among all the orphans?
Would you like to try that?
Well, I can't see why not.
So are you just going to purely blend them up without any kind of other magical anything involved?
Well, I'll put in some mushrooms for filler to make it look like more.
I don't think we didn't establish how many mushrooms you can just spontaneously mushroom.
I don't know, I just pick them off my skin. They're just always some
lovely.
mushrooms.
Oh no.
Are you doing it in your skull cauldron?
Does it also blend?
Not
Does it
unless
have a
you
little
have a spell that does that.
Can I install just like a little blade at the bottom?
Are you also going to install an engine? What are you going to do here?
I don't know. We can have a skull blender cauldron.
You can if you make one. You don't have one at the moment. What if you enchanted some skulls so they're just constantly chattering, and you just throw a bunch of little ones of them in, and they just kind of like chatter all around the bottom of the pot and chew everything in their path?
So I need to acquire a whole bunch of tiny skulls.
And you have 17 orphans. What a coincidence.
They're too big.
You need a
So
bigger
you're saying
cauldron.
I need to murder a bunch of babies.
I mean, their skulls would probably be too... They have too many teeth, babies do. It wouldn't work properly.
Oh.
Their skulls do, at least.
We'll put that on the list then. I need to acquire a whole bunch of tiny skulls.
Mice would probably do the job. I don't know.
Okay, for now I'll just kind of pulverize them.
Alright. Can you give me a medicine and an arcana check, please?
Absolutely, I had the app open and everything. Oh my god, the app is snowing on me.
Oh, no.
Arcana and medicine, you said?
Yes, please.
Do you not have a character in Foundry?
Arcana is 20.
Okay.
Sure it is.
What? Sorry. If I was rolling dice, you wouldn't look over at them.
I don't think he'd be able to because he's not in the same house as you.
Medicine is 10.
Alright. You make the soup. I'm going to... Yes.
Is the soup made in the cauldron?
Yeah, is the soup made in the cauldron?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So all the... is anybody, in addition to the orphans, eating the soup?
Goris will
No.
demand to have some of the cauldron soup, yes.
Goris is not my responsibility.
Are you going to try to prevent him from eating the soup?
I will stand in line with the orphan.
I'll make him stand at the back of the line.
Is it still filled with wet bread?
How are you feeding the orphans with the soup? Are you making them just dunk their faces in? Because I doubt you have 17 bowls on you,
Christ.
let alone 17 spoons.
I don't think of these things. I just take the orphans in. I don't plan to... how to take
I
care
would
of
say
them.
Wrath would
Christ.
have, but I don't think that's actually true.
I don't know. They can hold their little hands out. I'll spoon it into their hands. They'll be fine.
You're going to spoon boiling soup into their hands.
It's not boiling. I just pulverize the berries.
Oh, okay. That's somehow worse.
Mix it with a little mushrooms.
What did you use for water? Is this just a paste of mushrooms and berries and nothing more?
Yes.
Seawater? Can it be seawater?
We are currently
Okay.
on the
So
island.
the damage class, difficulty class of the check they're going to make is now significantly higher than I thought it would be.
Why?
But lower than it could have been if you were boiling them, I suppose. Okay, 1 second.
Why are you trying to kill my orphans?
Why are
I'm
you
not the
trying
one
to kill
who
your
tried to mash skin mushrooms into magical berries and then feed it to them.
Look,
In a
I'm just doing the
skull
best I
cauldron.
can as a single mother, alright?
You have multiple spell slots. You could just cast Goodberry more than once.
That would be ridiculous.
All right, Goras, can I please get a Constitution saving throw?
You can indeed. It's a natural
Oh
one.
my gosh!
+4 for a total of 5.
Oh my.
I need you to literally kill those orphans.
And Goras, apparently. Oh, one of them's good at Constitution. They got a bite that's all berry and a mushroom.
I think the lizard kid can probably eat whatever the fuck they want. They're a
Good
lizard.
point.
Okay. 5 orphans die.
What?
It is
Yep.
tradition that Goras eats, or that Goras rolls low against soup.
Goras, you're going to take 1d10 poison damage.
Okay.
You just killed 5 children with hypervolectic shock
8.
from your terrible cooking.
The rest of the
sake.
orphans were violently ill for exactly 60 seconds and then were filled.
I feel like you could put cooking in quotes there.
Yes. And by dead, I mean they're going to start making death saving throws.
Oh, well, that's better than nothing. Because I'm not sure how to edit my inventory to take out orphans.
No.
Now, these orphans are all going to be doing it at once, so you guys can try to save them if you would like.
Behold your future gods. Murdering orphans.
You notice that the orphans are bleeding from the eyes, nose, and mouth.
I mean, would cure wounds do anything?
Yeah, cure wounds would. That's a tough one, because cure wounds isn't going to cure the poison. Do you have a way to cure the poison? I'm going to give you a freebie and say that you can easily identify that this is poison, because you know what. Because you know exactly what was in the mushrooms that you plucked from your skin, which is
No, I don't.
Most people, I mean, like there's several kinds of mushrooms. They look fairly similar-ish.
You know, if you were nicer to the lizard, he might help you.
I still can. Didn't we stop last session?
Oh, that's a fail.
Still on a boat on an island at night.
The first orphan is stabilized.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the thing that cures poison. I'm not in the habit of curing poison.
That orphan dies.
Christ.
Speed run to 0 orphans remaining.
Can't I do anything for them?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Not feed them
I tried-
poisonous
That one
mushrooms.
dies.
What you can do.
I tried. I want to cure wounds them, but I don't. They're not wounds. That's all I have.
That one's fine.
Yay. Let's go, orphan.
That one's fine.
Yay.
2 orphans died on your watch. Congratulations.
Is
The others stopped bleeding violently from their orifices.
Captain still here
I
watching
suppose
all
I'll
this?
hide the bodies while they're still writhing in pain so they aren't traumatized by this. There's nowhere really to hide them, so I'm just going to kind
You're
of
on a
toss them in the
deserted
water.
island.
Meanwhile, my 2 orphans are just sharing my rations with me.
They do not need to make Constitution saving throws. Somewhere, Wrath sheds a gentle tear. Someone is following in his footsteps.
Which two was it?
That's a very good question. Do you have like a numbered list of them?
I'm trying to find it.
You said you had 17, correct?
Yeah, I have 5 human girls, 6 human boys, 1 gnome boy, 1 lizard girl, And then the original 2 and the lizard hunting orphan.
Numbers 13 and 16 die.
I didn't number them.
They're going to be in the order that you just gave me. Alphabetically.
What?
They're going to be... They're going... Okay. So you gave me a list of
I have
categories
5
of
human
orphans.
girls, 6
Okay.
human boys, 1
That's
question
11.
mark boy gnome,
That's a 12.
1 lizard girl,
13.
Probably
and
would
the original 2,
14,
and
15.
the lizard hunting one.
you killed 10.
Killed 10. When did 10 die?
What?
10 was 13.
10 was the number 13, the
number-
lizard
Oh,
girl.
yes. Yeah, yeah, 10 died. Sorry.
Oh shit!
And
No,
then, and then the lizard hunting one died, I think.
I thought we established that she could eat anything.
Did we? When was that?
When Ferdinand said that she could eat anything
When was that?
I mean,
It was
a
my
minutes
lizard-
ago.
well, not
Do
poison.
do Dragonborn have poison resistance?
She wasn't a
If they're
dragon
green.
Oh, she wasn't
She
a
was a
Dragonborn?
lizard folk.
Yes, she was a lizard folk.
lizard folk,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a
Which
very
means
good
she-
point.
She's not resistant or immune to poison at all. She could eat raw meat,
1 second.
One of the
but
orphans.
that was
not-
straight up mushroom poison, so
Well,
she's dead.
The mushrooms are probably partially meat.
No,
One of the orphans nat 20 their constitution save, and so we theorized that that was to end, but that was never confirmed.
oh, gotcha.
I think that's what.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
1 second. I'm mixing up all of my logistics here. I didn't think to
You
remove
can't
the
kill
ones that...
Ten.
Okay,
She's dead.
So I've
She's
killed her.
destined for.
What
She's
I've got to
destined for
do-
greatness.
I've got to mark the ones that definitely failed, rather the ones that definitely passed.
No, Asha, you killed to end.
Okay, the ones that passed are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
A spreadsheet.
9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it was 2 random orphans. They won't be special ones. You can choose which ones.
You
I'm not big brain enough to make a spreadsheet of which orphans when they didn't even all have like names and stuff to begin with. But I'm pretty confident that to N passed to begin with, and so shouldn't have been included in the count.
Okay, so I killed 2 orphans of my choosing.
Yes, I am putting this completely in your hands.
So much worse when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But we'll just go with one of the human boys and one of the human girls.
Okay.
The smallest and weakest
Oh.
of those.
And all of this because I asked how she was feeding them all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
thanks
didn't
a
even
lot.
start the game yet.
No, the game
all
starts
your
with
fault, George.
gleeful orphan murder. That's just how
You've
we
got
do
orphan
things
blood
here.
on your hands.
There is a lot of orphan blood. I think it's mostly on your feet that most people have the orphan blood on rather than the hands. Because nobody really tried to stabilize them or anything. So I don't think it would be on your hands.
I think it would have made it worse if I tried.
But probably, yes.
Okay,
like a
so note,
-2
note to
minus
self, we need to have the cure poison spell ready at all times.
You might
Yeah,
have been
when
able to do
you
purify
poison
food
them.
and drink. I don't know.
Maybe don't poison them with skin mushrooms. Note to self, my skin mushrooms are poisonous. That might come in handy.
I imagine 9 just had no idea any of this was happening.
It
Wait,
was
was
a
it-
very quick process.
Was it the
She
skin
just-
mushrooms or the fact that it was the cauldron?
You don't, do you know that?
I'd like to know that.
Can you make me another medicine and arcana check, please?
Can I test that by having Gorass lick the cauldron?
No, Goras took like 10 poison damage almost, so he's off somewhere just vomiting.
Yeah, he took enough to kill a grown horse that has low HP.
Yeah, no, I am just like out and away, just constantly vomiting up everything I just ate.
Well, one
I-
of those
I-
is poisonous.
So, not Goras. Ah, shit, you're trying to tell me that you're surprised that the mushrooms that you usually use to line people's lungs to kill them with necrotic damage are poisonous.
Well, I mean, I kind of thought it was the fact that you had mushrooms in your lungs.
Well, you
that
would
can't
think
be good
so.
for you.
A rational person would think so. But I'm asking that shit thought that.
You know, they look so tasty.
That's fair.
I didn't want to let good skin mushrooms go to waste. I have a bunch of hungry mouths to feed.
That is also fair.
You would understand if you were a single mother.
You have fewer
Just
hungry
trying to
mouths
make it
now,
in today's
so
world.
your job is easier.
It's true.
Eventually, you'll be down to someone you can just use one cast of, good berry.
And at least 10 can eat the 2 dead orphans if you fish them back out of the water.
I'm
No.
Not
going to
everybody's a
say
lizard.
that
10, maybe.
maybe we'll keep this game free of actual cannibalism.
That's
Maybe.
not even
Have we
like...
kept it free so far? I think we have this
But
campaign.
it wouldn't be cannibalism if 10 ate the human children.
That's true.
It would only be
Literally.
if 10 ate 9.
Literally, lizard folk are cannibals.
There you go. It's in their nature.
Yeah.
It literally is. It's like how alligators can just fucking eat other alligators. It's
She would.
completely fine for them.
I mean, most
She
would
animals
gain-
can eat themselves. It's just usually ill-advised.
She would gain
Second.
their strength.
Cannibalism isn't a line that we haven't crossed just because we haven't done it. Like, we're already
fair.
beyond how bad cannibalism is in the first 15 minutes of this session.
True.
Because you just straight murdered 2 children because you refused to feed 17 children that
Okay.
you either stole or purchased as slaves.
It's too early in the game for a lecture.
I am going to give
So-
you all the free common sense fact that you're pretty sure that, you're going to have some loyalty and morale issues from both orphans and, boat people if you feed dead children to your
Yep.
lizard child. Even
Oh.
Goras knows that.
What if she did it behind a rock or something where no one could see?
Oshit knows that's not going to cut it.
Can she swim down there and feed underwater?
Is Oshit thinking this out loud, or is Oshit just kind of
No, but
Lizard
just-
contemplating?
folk can
like, if
hold
she-
their breath for 15 minutes at a time.
Oshit is aware that people who are grown adults have object permanence. And
Well,
are
just
going
like-
to understand what happens if you throw orphans overboard and then have a lizard person jump overboard and then have the lizard person be like, yo, those children were tasty.
Asha is gonna grow
if
up
she-
to be a chaotic evil deity and the villain of the next campaign.
If she happens to do it, I'm not going to stop her.
She doesn't seem to want to eat something that just violently died of poison. I'm not sure
Fair
why.
enough.
She may have some kind of instincts that protect her from that.
Okay. I'll try
Goras
to
has
feed
no
them.
instincts, and he ate soup because it was soup.
That's
You
a
know,
pretty
we're
powerful
like-
instinct.
2 hours from a town where food exists.
Nope.
You didn't
Gotta solve the
even
problem
need to
here.
cast a spell. We can just go home. We just talked to the guy. I'm not even sure it was a new day where they needed feeding.
Yeah, I think you might have
Blake-
already fed them today, actually.
Blame George.
Yes.
It was a good question, though. How do you expect to feed them is very... Oh, excuse me, good question.
Well, now 2 orphans are dead. I hope you're happy, George.
Rip. Solir had no part in this.
They're not my orphans.
Get back on the slightly less crowded boat and let's go home.
The boat people are not looking so good.
Well,
They've
they-
been hopped up on nothing but sawdust for 2 days now.
That's okay. When we get back, we can just pay them off and they can leave.
Feed them the 2 kids.
We could just leave them here.
They are not going to eat the 2 kids. I'll give you that one for free also.
They just need more drugs first.
Can anyone else navigate this thing? I'm not feeling so.
Oh, can anyone else?
One of the boat people raises his hand in a very jerky manner. He says, I can do it.
You do it. He's in charge now.
It's fucking nighttime.
Goras vomits over the side of the boat again.
Everyone's either coming down from a day of meth or literally poisoned in the dead of night.
This is the perfect kind of dumpster fire we need, honestly.
The big
How's
plan
the
of
weather?
the enemies was just to get you to rile yourselves up enough to get yourselves to this point. Eventually, you will just burn yourselves out.
If they just leave us alone long enough, we'll just self-destruct.
Do you say how is the weather? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, I'm just expecting to
weather's
add
fine.
tsunamis to this. No, we're
there's
good. Okay.
There's snow. It's a bit of snow. It's not bad. Not for
If
this
I
part
was
of the
left
country.
alone with you people for too long, someone would die.
The
Nose goes.
the trip back begins.
Actually, I think several summons did just die.
Yes. Miraculously, it had nothing to do with 9.
9 doesn't kill kids. Unless you pay him.
I mean, even methed up at disadvantage, he did a pretty good job. The guy gets you back without too much delay. He comes down real hard, like 3/4 of the way through, though. Most of the sea people are not looking so hot at the moment. How many of them were there? I can't remember.
3 or 4.
I hired 3.
Okay, thank you.
Goris can probably take over near the end. He probably has emptied his stomach out partway through the trip.
All 3 of them managed to pass their save or dies versus the constant sawdust, which is great.
The save or die. So no.
They are all still alive by the time you get back, especially if Goras is able to help.
Yeah, I can do that.
They stagger ashore, and their leader, who looks as pale in the moonlight as the moon itself, says, "Will you be needing any more work tomorrow?" He's scratching his arm real good.
No.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Yeah.
I can do anything you want. It doesn't have to be boat.
Not boat related, just boat. It don't gotta be boat.
You need somebody to take care of those kids. I can take care of the kids real good. You need me to carry something? I can carry things. I can wash clothes.
Go away.
I can cook food. You need me to... You need someone dead? I can do that too.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Here, I'll break him off like half the brick of sawdust.
Oh my
I have.
gosh.
Just like, you know what? Here,
Enough
you did
to
real
kill
good.
half the city.
You did a real good job out there. Just take this. I'm not going to use it anyways.
He grabs it in his hands. He glances at the other people, the other sailors. He gives them like a half second of thought and then immediately turns and runs in the other direction. They start sprinting after him, screaming the most vile curses you've ever heard in your life.
No.
Wow.
These people were fine yesterday.
I was going to offer them more of this too, but I guess they'll share the third with that one. That one will be fine.
They will. Yes, they're just trying
Nope.
to spread the good word of sharing and caring.
Yeah, they're just going to share and care. No worries. Definitely nothing else will happen.
And this is how the sawdust riots began.
Remember that the cult just had like all of this lying around. They were probably intending to start the sawdust riots on their own, unless this was just all the wizard's supply.
I think they had to sell it to make money to pay 9.
That is entirely possible.
Oh, you can sell this stuff?
You can sell anything.
It is the middle of the night. What do you guys do?
Go back to that guy's house and kick him out of his apartment again.
I like how we're the good guys.
We
Said
are?
who? 2 kids died in less than 15 minutes.
It's our apartment building, after all, not his.
Goris is too dumb to realize that we're not the good guys.
You guys essentially legally have an entire cult museum, and you're choosing to go to this one guy's apartment which
closer.
probably doesn't have any food in it at this point.
Yeah, that museum has a history of exploding.
It does, though.
Dude's house is closer. Besides, I'm sure he had to go get more food by now. You know, so he doesn't starve.
You find the guy's apartment. There's a little note on the door, and it says, "I'll be upstairs and out of your way." I have nothing upstairs except for the small portion of food I will have already eaten by the time you get here. Please
This is a
don't
long
feel
note.
like I have anything to offer you.
Oh, that was thoughtfully prepared for us.
Just ignore the note entirely and barge into his house. Not the one he's staying in. The one he wants to stay in.
I'm confused. The bottom one where he was living or the guest
That one.
bedroom? Okay.
It's sleep time.
He left a
burn
giant wheel
horns.
of cheese and a several flagons of wine and a keg of beer and several loaves of bread. They're just all sitting in the middle of the table.
I feel like he lied to us. That's okay. I'm going to eat all of this. So will Horse.
There's also a bunch of like quilts thrown on the ground with little pillows on them. There's another note on the table that says, "Seriously, I don't have anything. Take what you want. Leave me alone."
One day, he'll never have to deal with this again.
Is that good or bad for him?
It depends on whether it's because he's dead or we left the city.
One of those is a little more permanent than the other. One of those is a little more definitely not going to have to deal with this again than the other. But then you've also, I mean, I say you, the party has fought dead people before, so I guess that's not even necessarily permanent. You all get a long rest. Remember, no automatic HP healing. You gotta spend your hit dices if you want to do that. You do get half
Yep,
your
yep.
hit dice back, though.
Let's see.
Then I use one of my 7 hit die that I've used none of to heal 1 HP and then immediately get it back.
Hmm.
Yeah, that.
We were given literally 0 instruction on how to, and I quote, keep doing what you're doing, which was wait for someone to tell us what to do.
Well, I mean, in reality, we've pretty much been taking over buildings in the city. That's mostly what we've been doing
If you
since we
just
got here.
keep doing that, you'll have taken over an entire province. Eventually, you'll just have taken over the capital buildings.
Sounds like a lot of work. I'd want to outsource that.
Yeah. Usually people use, like, lawyers for that. You're just doing it by hand.
We've also been saving all of the orphans from all of the orphanages.
Yes, that.
And life.
Liberating them from life, indeed. For
Those
them,
kids
struggle is
didn't
over.
die alone. Doesn't that mean they come back as zombies?
It means they have the potential to come back as zombies, yes.
So you could go get your orphans back. You just gotta
Water
finish them
zombies.
up.
They might be a little waterlogged, yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm drowning forever? Shut up, kid.
No.
I don't want moist zombie children.
I don't know that you have the choice. Potentially. I don't know. We don't know if things are going that way yet. The next morning, what do you do?
I mean,
It is very cold in here, and there is no fuel in the stove, unfortunately.
it really just refers to my earlier point. We didn't know what we were doing. As far as I'm aware, we just resolved the last loose thread. by
I mean,
finding the guy who keeps trying to kill us.
if we need fuel, we can start breaking up his furniture, I suppose.
I have lots of oil we could use to start a fire.
That's true.
Well, I don't plan on actually, living in this guy's house forever.
The
so
children demand breakfast.
For Christ's sake, I
Well,
just fed you.
If we have some spare time, maybe we can track down Antonin.
How? Also who? Also
I
why?
Is the omelet shop still functioning, or did we wreck that somehow?
I think it might take them a few days to get their business back together.
We only broke one door. We can go look.
Do you steal
Yeah,
all
but
their
we ate
steal all
everything.
their remaining supplies? I can't remember.
None of what we ate was eggs.
No,
Yeah, I
but
think-
then, assuming they have another supply of eggs, that's all they have right now.
I think we broke
Which is
in.
enough to feed orphans, I guess.
Yeah, we broke in order to feed Auschwitz orphans, then immediately left, and then fed the orphans again, which killed them.
I may have
now
just said the
remembering the order of
overfeeding.
events.
There have to be either other bakeries or other
Yeah, there
taverns
are
or someplace.
plenty of places around.
Well,
city
let's go
to
try the omelet shop.
Why don't you just bring them back to the orphanage that fed them?
Both of you to
They're
assume the
not gonna,
orphanage
they're
fed
mine
them.
now. They're not going to feed them.
Well, yeah, but wasn't there was there a money back guarantee or something on them?
I don't want my money back. Then I'd have to give them back.
Why do you even want
I mean,
them?
technically, I'm just renting them. I'm just going to not return them.
Gonna beat them like a rented orphan.
Oh, God. Besides, if I return them, they'd want the other two back.
Why do you even want orphans if nothing they do is helping you? It's just
First of all-
responsibility you want to shirk.
They're good for manual labor. And second, I'm going to need something to restock the orphanage when we get back home.
A, no they're fucking not. And B, no you don't. I don't think you understand what an orphanage is supposed to do.
I think I have to stick up for Ashit on this one. The orphanage is currently empty of orphans.
That's
So-
true.
That's a good
Ashit
thing.
does need to restock.
No.
It's a perfectly valid point.
It's what Wrath would do.
Mm.
Asha is diverting the orphan wealth from this city to the town. It's a cunning act of politics, is what it is.
It's important for our local economy.
Orphans
Speaking-
detract from the economy, not enhance it.
Yeah, but selling the orphans brings in money to the town.
Speaking of our local economy, should we check on home? We haven't, we kind of left it in shit state.
I imagine
It wasn't
you
on
could-
fire anymore.
Yeah, but we did leave an orphan in charge of baking. So,
Yeah,
they have food.
we have one in charge of
Assuming they didn't
brewing,
run out
so
of ingredients.
they have alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what more they could need, but
That's fair. That's a good point. All right.
I'm
sure they're
pretty
fine.
sure our innkeepers got everything under control down there.
we can definitely swing by there if it's on the way.
To where?
Home.
Do we have an actual direction we're supposed to be going?
Well, I need to go feed these kids, so
You were told that you would receive instructions as to your next thing to do.
but did he say when?
I don't know that he did. He may
This
have
guy's
said
a-
soon.
This guy's kind of a dick. Did anyone notice that?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm on the way to the omelet shop.
Well, if there's nothing else left for us to do in this city, we may as well go back to the town, which I think is more centrally located to everything else anyway.
Why don't you just call him and ask him what he wants us to do? You know that thing we did 30 times yesterday?
Call who?
Our new and previous also employer.
Oh, you're not talking to me, you're talking to Goras. Okay.
Yeah, I could do that. Just ask him what to do, like what our next steps are.
Where do we go?
Okay.
Tell him the lizard is getting restless.
Okay.
We talked about this
Cast
lizard thing.
sending on the captain.
Okay.
Yes, hi, hello, Captain, sir. What do we do? Where do we go? The lizard is getting restless.
Goras, after all of that ridiculousness yesterday, you're not even with the cult we gave you. Goras, why?
We're not what?
Goras, this isn't funny anymore. Why can't you simply do the things we might expect of a normal human being? Goras, why?
You just
Well, that
said
was
why
two
a lot.
sendings, but I liked that the second one was what?
He said something about the cult and then a lot of why.
So he wants us to talk to the cult that he only released partially, but not even to us. Like they weren't there. He just said they would be released. I guess they're back at the cult museum. But he didn't even... We had to ask to have them released. So why does he assume that we would go to them again because they have the answers? I guess we'll
Hey,
go
I'm
there
lost.
after we're done feeding your burdens.
Yeah, I thought I had already left.
I could
This
try
is on
and
the
call
way.
someone from the
Oh.
cult.
Is it our cult now?
Was it ever not
I
your
just-
cult?
It is simply the cult, the only cult that exists.
Do we need to convert them to worshiping us now?
I'd rather not.
Eventually.
So,
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Well, since the lizard's part of the cult, does that mean he has to worship us now?
I'm gonna slap
Ooh.
him for saying lizard the third time today.
Oh, wait, he has to say it 3 times first? That seems unfair.
Well, he's got 3 times the HP, you see.
Damn.
The first one I chalked up to forgetfulness. The second time I told him to stop. Now it's the third time I'm gonna slap him.
Make an attack roll, please.
Let's see.
I demand 3 lizards before I get smacked next time.
Does a 23 hit, George?
Yes, it does.
9 damage.
And we'll cut that to half, and I'll just laugh at him.
He uncannily dodges your nap. It's a cat nap because he's like part cat burglar, but not really because he's not that kind of rogue. That's why it's only half. You get to the omelet shack. The omelet shack has a hastily painted sign outside it that says discounts today. Please
Ooh.
don't mind the mess.
Fantastic.
They're offering only boiled eggs for 1 copper apiece.
How many boiled eggs does it take to feed an orphan?
2?
Yeah, they'll give you 2
what
eggs for a
kind of
copper.
egg?
That's probably they're hen eggs.
How long do they
Eggs
keep?
are cheap. How long do boiled eggs
they
keep? Quite a long time if you don't peel them and it's freaking cold out.
Is it freaking cold out?
It is freaking cold out.
Okay. I will buy several dozen.
What's the temperature in Celsius?
To bring me all
One
the
second.
eggs
Why
you
Celsius?
Fahrenheit, then. I was just being a dick. So let's go ahead and go Fahrenheit.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah.
You're lucky I didn't say Kelvin.
have. Austin's about to buy out this place's entire stock of eggs.
Probably.
Oh, the eggs are only 1 copper? I'll take 700.
They're half a copper each, actually. I don't know if they have 700 eggs. That would be a lot of eggs. They probably do. I don't know.
That is a
A
lot of
day,
eggs.
because they had none yesterday.
The entire town's stock of eggs for the day.
It is 30 degrees Fahrenheit out. I'm not going to bother converting to Celsius.
That's definitely cool enough to keep eggs.
That's literally cool enough to freeze the eggs on contact with the outside.
If you wear them close to your skin, they won't freeze as fast. But you
That
have to
is-
make an egg cape.
Just lace them around Goras with
All
another
right.
belt.
All
That
right,
is
kids,
colder
everybody
than the average freezer.
strap your eggs onto your body. Gotta
Now, the
keep these
good
things
news
warm.
A
is-
good layer of eggs to keep out the cold.
If you wanted to keep those orphan bodies, they are now orphan sickles.
Huh. That's unfortunate.
So how many eggs do I have now?
How many did you buy?
All
As
of
many
them.
as possible.
All of them. Okay.
Well, how many do they have?
1 second.
Imagine
did
waiting. Imagine waiting in line at like a food cart. There's a bunch of people behind you, just like, I'll take your entire stock. Nobody
Okay.
behind you in line gets
Just
food.
two. How many?
Aaron just walks up with her 30 goddamn kegs and is like, I will buy all of this.
I will buy up to the amount that will fit in the skull cauldron.
That's not what you said. You said you wanted all of them.
Well, do they have more than that?
Yes.
They didn't seem like a very good shop.
I am desperately trying to figure out how many eggs, like, a crappy hole-in-the-wall diner uses in a day, and I'm just not finding it. Probably because I'm using crappy
See.
start page instead of Google.
I really want access to your Google history.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
How many hands can grow out of a man?
On average, fewer than 2, or is it more than 2? I would, if we're just talking growing.
How many poison mushrooms can a small child eat?
I mean, less than 1, certainly.
Like, you're on a list somewhere.
After the research I did for my last book, yes, I am definitely trying to be a drug lord who's breaking out of prison. A specific prison.
Oh no. Suppose we have to figure out how many eggs will fit in a cauldron.
Okay, so I go on Google and I get something like an answer. 1 second. Courtesy Diner, page on Facebook. We're often asked how many eggs we go through in a day. On average, we crack open around 75 dozen. See, so you know what? 75 dozen. That's how many eggs they have in one day.
The real question is,
Okay,
900
these-
eggs.
Yeah.
boiled to order, and we're gonna be here for a while?
what is the volume of 900
oh my
boiled
gosh.
eggs?
A lot of the eggs have already been boiled. They kind of just have them going in batches.
And again, they freeze immediately. So
Perfect.
they keep indefinitely if they can be thawed.
How many eggs volume? Is that the kind of thing fancy science people use Wolfram Alpha for?
I'm so curious if Wolfram Alpha actually has that now.
There is an egg shape calculator. I don't have all the variables for it.
Listen, I play Cataclysm. It literally has all of those calculations in it. I could load that up and go look at the volume of an egg.
Yeah, tell me how many eggs will fit in a skull cauldron? A giant skull.
Well, how big is the cauldron by volume? Is an actual metric.
Yeah, we don't have time for all this stuff. You're. I'm gonna
And you
I'm
just
going to
say
use
that they
random-
will fit in the cauldron?
let's say in your cauldron will hold like 1 year's worth of chicken eggs, and this random site saying maybe 300 eggs. So your cauldron is giant enough that it can hold 300 eggs.
Christ, what do I do with 600 eggs?
That's a very good question.
Oh my god, I think 88 Googled it. The
God, I
official
hope so.
guide to egg volume: medium, 3 tablespoons, 1.5 liquid ounces; large,
Well, yeah,
3
but
to
Is
4 tablespoons.
961 cubic centimeters as big as a chicken egg? Is what this person asked.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, volume isn't how you measure carry capacity in D&D, so how heavy are these eggs?
You're not fitting
No, hang on.
900 eggs in a bag. I don't care what you're. I mean,
I
unless
know.
it's a
I
bag
know
of
how to do this. How many quarts will the cauldron hold?
I don't know.
Because how many gallons?
It is 10.5 gallons according to the medium size of egg.
Okay, that's
it's
40
found earlier.
quarts, which is 40 dozen eggs.
That's not enough. Give the rest to the orphans. Here, you carry your food now.
So it'll hold about 500 eggs. The cauldron will.
I think I said 300.
Yes, but I said 500.
Yeah, but you're
According
not the
to
one
what
making up magic numbers.
Well, according to what Jordan said that the volume of the cauldron was,
That
and
is
Oh
how
no,
many
I was calculating the volume of the eggs. Was to be like 10 gallons.
Also,
No, it'll be more than that.
The eggs are vaguely different sized, so we're using an imaginary approximation of an average egg here, which
That is true.
may not even be true. They might have like vaguely larger chickens in this reality also.
Oh my god, Taylor, why?
We're gonna say the egg is an egg is going to be 1.75 ounces.
How many can the orphans carry?
Just make them carry eggs.
You're not using them for anything else. They might
see,
as well carry their own food.
1 dozen eggs will fit in a quart. So how many gallons large the cauldron is, you can figure out how many eggs it will hold.
That's 98.5 pounds of eggs, by the way.
Per orphan?
No, just in general.
Oh, they're fine. We'll just get them each a little backpack and fill it with eggs.
To the little backpack store. Hey, Taylor, how much do they cost for little backpacks? How many are in the store? See if we carry per backpack.
Okay, 1 second.
Do the orphans have to roll to break the eggs every time they fall down?
I just
Yes,
spent 450 copper then on eggs.
If that's yes.
They still can't cook them themselves.
I couldn't remember the name of D&D Beyond for
They're
a good
boiled,
5
they're fine.
seconds. It's gonna
Not
take.
all of them
It's
are
gonna
boiled.
take
Also-
like an hour for them to boil all the eggs with all of the big old pots they have.
That's fine.
Since
We'll wait.
most of them are. I say most. A lot of them are already done.
They're going to be heavier than normal because they're frozen.
I don't think that's how
Get weight
physics
from
works.
freezing.
Yes, they do.
No, it's not.
How are they gaining mass by freezing?
Being covered in ice.
But they're not being
No.
covered in ice. They're
They
certainly not frozen as they dip out of the boiling water, I promise you.
Well, this is a later problem.
I don't know that they're gaining
Alright,
water
well,
by boiling.
Later
I actually
on,
don't
you
know.
tell me how much weight the eggs have gained, and we'll work from there.
Like, can you tell me how much water an egg would gain when you boil it?
But while we're waiting for the eggs to boil, I want to go buy 15 little
A
backpacks.
standard backpack, which holds 1 cubic
These are
foot
little.
or 30 pounds of gear. Backpacks do have a standard weight limit, as it happens.
Christ.
Costs 2 gold.
This entire
A little
this
backpack
entire-
will be 1 gold.
a little backpack.
A little backpack, 1 gold.
Jesus Christ.
Unless you just want a
Fine.
sack, in which case, 2 silver.
No, 15 little backpacks.
Do you know how many eggs you can get for 1 backpack?
They don't have 50 little backpacks at the leather store.
15.
15?
15.
It's going to take them a day. Most people don't buy little backpacks.
Oh my god.
Unless you buy
Is there more than one
saddlebags.
shop I can go to?
Strap saddlebags to the orphans.
Saddlebags are 4 gold pieces.
There's no way I'm not spending that much money.
Understandable.
If I go to multiple leather shops, can I buy 15 little backpacks? If I stop children on the street and ask to buy their little backpack.
Most children do not have multi-gold backpacks. They usually get kidnapped and murdered for their backpacks.
Just give them the
kind of-
materials and have them make their own backpacks. They're not doing.
High or low?
Hi. What am I doing?
You can only find the one shop with little backpacks. That's their specialty.
Christ.
Is the child leather store. They
No.
cater,
No.
they cater to the children of fancy merchants and adventurers who need boots and backpacks and saddles and all kinds of small children-sized things.
You can't call it child leather.
I'm not the one who killed 2 children by feeding them skin mushrooms. If you give them a day, they can make you all of the backpacks.
But you are the person who coined the phrase child leather store.
It
There's
already
no-
existed. I just told you that you were there.
We really wasted that orphan skin. We could have canned it.
That's a worse
Oh,
kind
God.
of child leather. Good
Well,
grief.
if it had been 10 that died, then maybe. The human children, not so much.
Human skin makes a very fine leather, I tell you what.
Not as good as lizard skin.
You'd waste it as leather. You
They
gotta
cut
keep
out-
the scales.
So are you... Did I say how many backpacks, or just that it would take you a day to get the 15?
Just that it would take me a day. I'm not sure where we ended.
You can buy up to 5 little backpacks at the moment.
Well, is that enough to hold the spare eggs?
They can
Also,
they can hold 30
how are
pounds
you
of gear.
carrying the cauldron?
So they can... Was
How
it
have
on
we
a
been
cart or
carrying?
something?
That's not something that we worry about.
Then why are we worrying about how many eggs we can put in?
Because Taylor won't just let me buy eggs and say I have them.
No, you may not buy 900 eggs and just have them in your Skyrim inventory.
We're not gonna.
You're
We're
not
not
going to
gonna
crack them
suddenly-
into your mouth as you're fighting to regain HP mid-battle.
We're not gonna suddenly start worrying about how I'm carrying a cauldron around with me
Okay.
at all times.
900 eggs.
Uh-huh.
It's like 100 pounds of eggs.
Yeah, but I've
the-
only got 600 to worry about now because
Okay.
300 fit in the cauldron.
Which is presumably just strapped to your back turtle style, so don't let
Yes.
it spill it, I guess. You know,
We
it's
don't
not
worry
a
about that.
sealed container. Anytime you go anywhere...
Okay,
you
15
talk.
of the little backpacks can carry up to 225 pounds of eggs.
That's
Well,
we're near.
wasn't it
you
only
give
90 pounds of eggs total?
what? No, it's 900 eggs.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah,
like
it's about
90 pounds.
They
Oh.
only hold. They're only gonna hold like 3/4 of a cubic foot. I'm not. They're.
You brought this on yourself.
If you buy the backpacks for the children, I'm going to hand wave it and say yes, they can carry the eggs.
It took you an hour to come to this.
I am so sorry, everybody else. I really am. This is.
No, I mean, you're just making your own problems for your own self.
It would have been a bigger problem to let you just carry 900 eggs.
Okay.
Just because.
So, I
also,
guess we'll-
your cauldron.
Did
You
they
are
now?
not. You are not just carrying around your cauldron like on your shoulder.
No.
You're a frail old woman. You are not doing that. No, it has
I'm
been on a
pretty-
cart, or it has
Oh,
been
okay.
on your boat. I don't know how you had a cart at some point. I don't know
Does it have-
exactly what the logistics are at the moment, but you need something like that to carry it around.
I probably put little wheels on the bottom of it and a handle.
You never
I'm
told
pulling
me
it around.
that
You know, I never told you that it didn't.
What's your strength score?
8?
Okay. I'm gonna say you can push it around. That you got little wheels on it. When there's
Nice.
nothing in it, you have enough strength to push it around. You cannot get it through the door of a house. I need you to consider the logistics of that from now on. But you can push it around.
It's too big to
On
fit through the
flat
door of a house, but I
surfaces.
can't fit 900 eggs in it?
It's very wide.
Good lord.
If you can go to the store and buy me 900 eggs and show me exactly what that looks like in a pile, then maybe
Okay.
we can reconsider this conversation.
Well, I need the exact dimensions of a giant skull.
I've been
I'm sure I can
searching,
find
I
that.
promise.
I can find it, but so we have to wait a day for 15 little backpacks, which are going to cost me 15 gold to go
Yes.
with the 900 eggs that cost me 450 copper.
That is correct.
I've made the best decision of my life. This is. Yep.
During the rest of the day, what do you do?
Go back to the cult and see what the hell they want.
When you go back to the cult, there is a gentleman out front of the cult building, the museum, whatever it was. He's got a cart.
Hang on.
Yes.
How are we carrying the eggs now if they don't have their backpacks?
Are you
yet?
carrying the eggs now?
No,
So
I'm
did
just
we-
I'm
You
I'm
could
just
just put in
waiting
a work
at the
order
egg store for them
and-
to be boiled, and they're gonna
Okay.
just
If you pay them in advance, they will just shut down and spend the rest of their time making eggs.
okay. I'm gonna ask them to hang on to them
Potentially.
until I can acquire enough backpacks to put them in.
This is the same guy who was selling fake magic items previously, so maybe don't trust him. I don't know. Do what you want.
No,
We're all just
totally
hanging out
real
at the egg
magic
store.
items, as far as Gorse is concerned.
Yeah, that.
We also broke in here, so we might be even if they scalp us.
You do your business that needs to be done, and you go back to the cult building. There's a gentleman out front of the cult building. He's got a little horse and cart, and it's decked out in the livery of the monster hunters. He looks exasperated as he sees you approaching, and he says, I've been waiting for you all morning. I've got things I was supposed to give you, and nobody else. Will you take them? It's
Yeah.
just bundles in the back, very sinister looking bundles of cloth in the back of his cart.
Do they explode?
I don't know. I'm just giving you the bundles.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they left a horrible booby trap that could disintegrate your body with someone they didn't tell anything about it.
By the saints, I hope not. Are you going to take them?
I guess.
Okay. Will you please do so? I'm not supposed to touch them myself. You're supposed to take them, and then I'm supposed to drive away. I was told they would know if I touched them.
Oh my god. Where's the dumb one?
One of the orphans raises his hand.
Hey, the orphans are with me at the omelet shop.
Oh, okay. The orphan does
No.
not raise his hand.
Where's the dumb cell phone we keep around? Make him touch it first. I didn't bother memorizing any of these people's names. Not so deep
So
down. I
we
hate
didn't all go to the omelet shop.
I believe that Stephanie's character did some business, went to the omelet shop, ordered eggs, ordered some leather at a shop that's probably not too far away, then went back to the omelet shop, and then at least 9 went to the museum. I don't know who else went with them.
Because she plans on staying there for 24 hours until backpacks are ready to carry the eggs she got.
Yep. That's my life.
Well, I would have tagged along to the museum. Yeah.
Great,
Okay.
touch these bags.
Touch them. Why?
To pick them up. They're yours now.
Oh yeah,
So-
makes sense. Okay, I'd try to lift one.
It is moderately heavy, but you can fairly easily lift it. Something clinks around inside.
I was the strongest of the party until 9 came. Technically speaking, with my 11 strength.
Gloriously
I
average.
don't know. Something's clinking around. It's kind of hard to carry. It's all like awkward weight and stuff. Keep shifting.
We'll open it and find out.
Oh, you told me to carry it, not open. I guess I'll now though.
You open
Set
it.
it down. Open it up.
You find 4 wands inside. They look identical to each other, and there's a little note with writing on it.
What does this say?
I'll read the note for him.
It says, "You have been entrusted with one of our most sacred secrets. These wands can cast a rope trick that lasts 24 hours, once per week. If you let these fall into the wrong hands, we may have very large problems on our hands. If you
Yeah,
break
what
the
are they gonna
wand while in the rope trick, you may never come back. So please be careful. Love, the captain."
All right.
Were there other bags?
There were some other bags, yes.
Wands of 24-hour.
I've been burned by magic items lately. Why don't you hang on to all of them?
Do not break. In parentheses. Or. Oh, noted that. I don't know what a rope trick is, but I guess we'll find out.
It sounds like a trick you do with a rope. I'm not really.
Yeah, I don't see any rope attached to the wand though, so it's kind of confusing.
Maybe the wand turns into a rope.
That would be a good trick. Yeah, that would make sense. For 24 hours, interesting.
Why don't you go ahead and see what's in the other bags? You're so good at opening them.
Well, thank you. That's the nicest thing somebody said to me all week.
I want you to know I was face palming the whole time I was saying that.
Did not notice. Completely oblivious.
Okay, just give me one more second.
That's the nicest thing
had
anyone
notes for this.
said to me since the captain told me I would become a god.
It sounds like the gods do stupid things and go crazy, and then everyone tries to kill them, so I'm not really sure that's a good thing.
I mean, that kind of sounds like the usual for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why we're becoming gods.
Oh, I see.
You
I like that
find
when we talk, it's a slightly gruffer than normal off.
Yep.
There's a little bag that has a very fancy case lined with velvet, and inside this case there are 6 coins and a note. The coins are covered in very fancy runes, and the note informs you that if you attach this coin to a door that is a physical door of any kind, it has not been tested to work on things such as portals, it will make the door explode away from you. In
We
6
have
seconds.
fucking door kicker charges.
It says not to put this on a person. It does not elaborate
FBI,
further.
open up.
All right. Ruined coins that explode doors. 6. Save that. Maybe you should hold on to these ones. I can just put them in another pouch alongside the oil and all that, the grenades.
Yeah, why don't you carry everything that goes boom so we know where to go for it?
Okay, yeah, I'll just. That's a good point. It's more organized if I just put them right here, right next to the grenades.
You are given. There's another velvet case that has 4 rings of spell storing in it. There's no note alongside them. They just say spell storing in big chunky letters. And one thing that I'm trying to...
Oh,
I
you said
didn't
4
have
of
it in my
them?
notes. 4 of them, yes.
See, I actually want one of those rings, but I'm not
Right.
convinced we have someone who can remove curses on hand right now.
Why would we need that?
Well, last time I touched a very good sword, it cursed me. So I'm just assuming that this person that's tried to kill us several times and keeps tricking us might be trying to trick us again.
Nah, they wouldn't lie to us. I don't see why they would do that.
They've lied to us several times.
Name one time.
I spend the next hour explaining all the times in the last 2 days we've been lied to by these exact people to no avail.
There's another bundle of wands with almost identical description saying these are one of our most sacred secrets. Please do not let it fall into the wrong hands. And they're 4 wands of mislead, can be cast once per week.
What the hell is mislead?
You become invisible at the same time that an illusory double of you appears where you're standing. It lasts for the duration. Invisibility ends if you attack or cast a spell. You can use your action to move your double up to twice your speed, make it gesture, speak, and behave in whatever way you choose. You see through its eyes and hear through its ears as if you were located where it is. On each of your turns as a bonus action, you can switch from using its senses to your own or back again. While using its senses, you're blind and deaf in regard to your surroundings. And this lasts for 24 hours also.
Mm-hmm.
Does it cross the dimensional barrier of rope trick?
There's no mention of that.
24-hour rope trick, 1 week recharge, mislead, 24-hour recharge.
These recharge, right?
It says that you can use it once a week, is what it says.
Right.
And there's also a little scroll which describes to you that a band of partisans of the Sage have been lured into a meeting at, where was it called? Silverheart's Bay.
It says, oh, where was it called on the note?
It does, actually, yes. It must have been dictated to a very cheeky scribe. You are to simply murder the entire delegation and make sure there are no survivors.
Murder the delegation at where?
At Silverheart's Bay, which is the casino where Ashit was married to Wrath. It is a bit of a distance away. One second, I've got to measure.
They were a delegation of what?
Partisans of the Sage, who is one of the saints. His canton is the closest to you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to take one of the wands of mislead and one of the rings of spell story.
Okay, I'll remove one of each from what I'm tracking. Wand of mislead 3.
The trip will be, it describes going along the water to the northeast, crossing over the peninsula, going back along the water, crossing the Shatterspine Mountains at their easiest point, and then traveling upriver. That route would be the quote-unquote safest, as it would be mostly water travel and not involve climbing over the Shatterspine Mountains at their harshest point, but would be like 850 miles.
Can you call him and tell him to use his super magic to just teleport all of us over there when we're ready?
Why wouldn't we just head back towards town the way we came and then find a way to cross the river over to where we're going?
You can certainly go whichever way you want. It describes that the meeting will be arranged once you are there. You don't have like a time that you need to meet a deadline.
You've been tricked.
We have laid an ambush for you. Thank you for your cooperation.
When found, the ring contains 1d6 minus 1 levels of stored spells chosen by the TM.
These ones are completely blank.
Those motherfuckers. They couldn't have given us a fucking cure wounds.
Don't we have people that could, cast the spells onto these things? In their
Yes,
free time.
but I'm saying they're cheap motherfuckers.
So these are standard spellstorm rings?
Yes.
This is like giving somebody something that says batteries included, but taking the batteries and keeping them.
The last time I gave the party a spell storing ring, I think it got traded for a +1 sword.
It's a terrible trick.
That is terrible. A ring of spell storing is like a thief's delight here.
We'll call it a
Goris
hill
is going
giant.
to
Shit.
immediately fill up one of the spell storing rings.
Perfect.
With let's see. Oh, I thought that was lower level than it was. It's been a while. I wanted to fit multiple casts of sending on it and just give it to someone, but I can only fit one casting of sending on it,
So that you can say I'm in at opportune moments to each other.
Is this what you call a cell phone?
Those are called sending stones. It's the same thing but less wasteful.
No, Goris thinks he's a genius for doing this.
Once you've taken all those things, the guy will skedaddle away with his little cart and horse.
That's fine.
Mm.
So anyone can cast any spell that's in the ring.
Any creature can cast a spell by touching it, as is.
Looking up the
Like,
exact
can cast a
language
spell
of it.
into it. Yeah.
What is your most devastating spell?
First through 5th level in the ring.
Devastating.
It uses slot level, DC, attack bonus, and ability of the original caster.
Like, I keep getting fireball. You got any fireball?
I don't do. I do some with fire, but I tend to try and throw oil and then light the oil on fire. It doesn't always go as well as I plan, though. Fireball sounds great. I should figure out fireball. I can summon a friend, and they will do a lot. Or I can make a whole bunch of people in front of me all hear the music all at the same time. And, when you hear it for the first time, it's very confusing.
I think I'm probably just gonna fill this thing with cure wounds.
I can make somebody really fast for a minute.
Does that have any immediate drawbacks?
As soon as they're not fast, they're gonna be a bit woozy.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm just gonna cast cure wounds into it like 5 fucking times. I'd ask the druid, but I'm not asking the druid.
The druid's not there. Druid's doing math.
Well,
The druid's doing math or math?
Both.
are you
Taylor-
still doing egg math while we...
Yeah, I finished. Okay.
Okay.
The skull cauldron, assuming that it's a hill giant, can hold 816 eggs, and that's just cranial
So
capacity,
where's your
not the entire
source?
skull.
Where's your source for the skull volume?
I brought up
I may have miscalculated which kind of giant to use.
I brought up a comparison of the heights of different dwarfs from D&D, and the hill giant was 16 feet high, so I took the size of its skull, being 1/6 of its body, compared to the size of a human skull, sized it up, took the volume of the cranial capacity of a human skull, and multiplied that, and I got to 816 eggs.
Giants have tiny brains. It's really unfortunate.
They have very thick skulls.
Look,
We got magic items.
I've got eggs. Okay?
many
816 eggs. In the cauldron. That's assuming I only use the brain compartment of the skull.
Okay, but Taylor said you can only wheel it around while it's empty because of your strength score. So
Well,
when
maybe
you
you'll
add
have to wheel it
90
around for
pounds
me.
of eggs, maybe you can go fuck yourself. Let the kids
All right,
carry
one
it in their
second.
tiny backpack. Because you cannot push around 90 pounds of bullshit, you frail old woman.
I mean, you could push around 90 pounds if it's on a close.
Actually, once you get it rolling, it's very easy to push 90 pounds.
It's getting into step is the issue.
Nobody going to be impressed by my skills.
No, because that took you 30 minutes.
I mean, I don't think I would have been able to do it like at all. Like it's a line of assumptions that I just don't think I would have ever thought of. I'm actually legitimately impressed. How much does your skull weigh?
I didn't calculate that.
Okay. If you can calculate that, we might be getting
You
somewhere.
want me to get total weight now of everything?
Just
Okay,
of the
fine.
skull, actually. Just of the cauldron.
Okay.
I mean, does it count as a hand pull cart?
I don't know. Add 10% because you had to add material to stop up the gaps.
And wheels.
To stop up the wheels, yes.
You gotta put some fucking brakes on that thing.
If you don't want to crush orphans, that may be a good idea. Imagine being an orphan and being crushed by a giant skull on wheels.
Imagine being an orphan and some fucking old woman comes and steals you and then feeds you poison mushrooms and you die.
It was illegal renting. Rashit signed the lease.
And paid the insurance premium on these orphans.
Yes, that also.
You're not getting that back.
Wait, how many eggs do we end up with as a total? I'm curious now.
Total of 900, I believe.
Okay. Whew. That might feed us for a bit.
Potentially.
At least the orphans.
That's just for the orphans. 2 eggs a day.
Yeah, Ashit wasn't provisioning for us. We're on our own.
I mean, let's be honest. 2 eggs a day is not enough. That's 2 eggs twice a day minimum.
Can you just do a blender simulation for us, Jordan, and figure out if you drop it just a ton of eggs? Why are they so ovoid? Why do they have to be so egg-shaped? So you guys got the things from the cart.
I want you to know this is only 30 days worth of orphan food.
Ugh.
The skull by itself should weigh about 60 pounds.
Okay. So it is less than a third of a weight of a cart.
With
How much do
presumably
800
smaller
eggs weigh?
wheels. That was 90 pounds. We already calculated that. It's 90, 98, something.
And what's
I'm gonna preload some of these spell storing rings.
okay?
Well,
What was the volume of the skull?
900 eggs
800
worth exactly.
816 eggs.
Oh, okay.
Jordan, save me out one of those rings.
Okay.
I'm probably going to want something put on it.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. How does 5 casts of shield sound?
Oh my. Assume the cow is spherical indeed.
They put a shield in this. I want to see just how stupid that is on a tank.
Yeah, I can drop a shield in your ring. That's fine.
No, I'm sorry. My AC is 24 right now.
Alright, I'm gonna say you can keep 750 eggs in your cauldron.
You're shortchanging me, but fine.
Yep. It's what's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
You had to patch up the holes and that reduce the volume.
Thick bone.
Get a lot of calculation.
Also, eggs, unless you're cracking all the eggs into one massive egg soup, that's not how volume works.
No, this I
Boiled.
no, I had looked up how many pickled eggs you could fit in a quart jar. That's how I figured that. So they're whole eggs.
So you're peeling all the eggs also.
No, a peeled
your-
egg isn't going to take up less volume than a hard-boiled egg.
It will actually, because you're squishing them together.
No, have you ever seen a jar of pickled eggs? They don't get
Yes.
squished together.
My dad makes them. Maybe he's not doing them right, but he absolutely squishes them in there.
They should not be squishy. No, they should be in there kind of loose and
Hey,
freewheeling.
You don't want to pack them in so they're squishy, because then the pickling liquid can't get to all the surfaces.
I mean, I've never had one of his pickled eggs. I just know that he makes
And
them.
then they'd be
He
weird
uses
and
them as
square.
a doorstop to keep the bathroom door open.
That's all they're good for.
Can we just skip to the point where Ashit is going to blend them all up into a paste anyways?
Egg slayer.
And then
I'm
let
gonna
it
add some
freeze
shells
mushrooms
and
into a
all.
giant
Alright.
block.
All hell
flavor.
egg block.
That we have to melt to get a chunk off of. Gotta nuke the boiled egg real quick to get it started to eat again.
She's gonna
You just-
poison him.
I'm gonna fill 15 backpacks with egg paste.
All right,
no.
children, get out your ice picks. Time to break off a piece of the boiled egg
Oh no.
rock.
It's like a gelatinous cube, but it's just egg.
Thanks for the amazing boss idea.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so
so good.
how many eggs did you say the cauldron could fit?
750.
Okay, so that leaves 150 eggs. It's only 10 eggs for each backpack. They're fine.
Yes,
They don't need
they are
that
fine.
many backpacks then, do they?
It's good for
They,
other
they might
things.
come in handy later.
Orphan storage capacity.
This is the weirdest notepad document I've ever made.
It's not. It's just the one with the most actual facts in it.
So those of you who received equipment, what are you doing?
Well, he put a shield in this ring,
Okay.
so I took a ring and one of the wands, and I guess then we just go into the cult house and see what's up, because I don't want to go back to egg math or share any of this, even though I will.
Inside, the museum seems to have been set up again.
Is the
They're,
front door
they're just
repaired?
the front door is repaired. Yes, there are just like random, very cheap, like things you could buy at any general store, like vases and stuff and plates set up for the exhibits. Like clearly not antiques of any shape, kind, or form. There are a couple quote unquote museum staff standing around looking utterly harrowed.
They really hit the ground running when they got released from their capture and almost definitely torture at midnight off of a boat, and went right back to where they got fuck-sploded and captured from to begin with.
The woman
It's
who
been
has the little
8 hours.
the woman who has the tallest hat in the room, which means that she's in charge. She waves vaguely at Goras and Solir as they approach. Not at 9 for some reason.
That's because I'll ask for money.
Yes, hi, hello. Yes, I'll wave back.
Good morning, she says.
Is it morning? Oh, yeah. Good morning. Yeah.
Does this mean we're not going to die? He's been standing out there for hours.
Who has?
The monster hunter with a cart.
He gave us 3
Oh,
things.
no, it's fine.
So it's true then. You sold us out. You're
No,
coming
of course not.
you're coming back to gloat, I suppose.
You're all stupid.
So long as it's all over, I suppose we're.
No,
It's
I
all
mean,
good.
no one sold you out. Like, everyone in the entire city knew exactly what you were doing
yeah.
at all times.
Actually, we made a deal to get you back. So the opposite of selling you out.
We unsold you out. We're why you're alive.
She gives a tremendous shrug. Whatever you say. I
The
just,
chosen one never sells anyone out, ever. Trust me.
I just hope when you go back to them, you tell them we're doing everything that they said to do.
What'd they say to do?
We're to go back to everything as we were doing it before. It's within 6 hours, and then we weren't allowed to sleep for 48 hours. We had to be diligent and acting just as everything was before, and making all our stupid little plans is what they called them. And if we don't, then we'll all die.
Well, they
This is
told us to follow your plan.
this is intensely funny to them. To you, I suppose.
Would you shut your stupid mouth?
She
They told
snaps her
us
mouth
to
shut.
do what- They told us to do what you say. So, like, basically they said stop it, realized they couldn't actually stop it, and now they're telling you to just go. Just do all the things still. They're not even giving you a my bad on this one.
Would you like a tour of our new exhibit, sir?
No, I
Oh,
want you
yes.
to tell me how to go kill a god, because that's what they want us to do.
I'm afraid I wouldn't know anything about that, sir.
Well, then you're pretty bad at doing the thing that they told.
She starts talking to Goras about the ancient history of a plate that has a pool of glaze just kind of sitting on it. Like, it wasn't necessarily made like yesterday, but it's a very, very modern, very common, very cheap manufacture. It was also used by the founders.
$2.99 say.
It does have some sticker residue on it.
Wow, the technology back then was incredible. I didn't realize they had these all the way back then.
Yes, the founders of the city were very advanced people.
Ah, that's insane.
Yes.
Where's the one that used to pay me?
If you would like to speak to my manager, I believe she's further inside. Likely in her regular office.
I wonder if she's gonna want her hard drugs back.
I wouldn't know anything about that, sir. I don't
Oh, if
appreciate
you want
the
those, here,
allegations.
take this.
Do you want
The
to hit?
remaining brick of sawdust.
Her eyes go
He's
very
still
wide.
got 'em.
1 second, she's gonna make a wisdom saving throw. She takes the brick and puts it in her belongings.
So I hold it out to 9 and she just snatches it.
Oh, I thought you were offering it to her.
I mean, I only
mind.
kind of casually held it out.
She won't
so
she won't snatch it from you. If you offer it to her, she'll take it. If
Oh,
you're just offering
I
it to
just
Nine,
kind of
she'll
casually
look
held it out,
away.
like, well, if you're taking the drugs back, here, I got this. Like,
You don't have to give her the whole. She can take a hit.
oh, here, you want some? Sorry, it was rude of me. I should have offered first.
If you offer her a hit, she will
It's a
reach
quick
out.
bump, we won't tell anyone.
She looks around furtively. Then she pulls out a coin and makes a tremendous scrape in the sawdust. Pours the powder under her hand and gives it a good old snort. She seems in a little better of a mood after that.
Yeah, there you go. Very obvious cult. Now we're gonna go and see if they want me to kill any more dozens of
She
people.
crit fails her Constitution saving throw, which isn't actually a crit fail, but when I say she looks in a somewhat better mood, I mean she gets a nosebleed and looks dizzy and sits down
Is on the floor
and stops
dies.
talking to you. But she
You
looks
had
happy.
have any food today?
She just kind of laughs.
Okay, well,
The others just wave you back. They say, very, very sorry. I think everybody's back where they're supposed to be.
oh, sorry, did you want some too?
No.
Just start walking
thank
up
you.
throwing the brick out.
No, please, no, thank you.
We got stuff to do. Let's go.
Okay.
I didn't realize she had that much blood left to lose.
I'll leave it with your manager if you want any more later. It'll just be there.
They can buy it from you.
Oh, right, you can sell this.
We go
I-
and find what's her lady.
What on earth did you used to do with the drugs when you were a smuggler?
I delivered them from place to place.
Ah, okay.
What did you think they were
Like a
doing with them?
mailman.
I was delivering it to them because it was theirs.
Ah, okay.
So like it
Understandable.
was supposed to go to them. So I just delivered it.
You're
to
the
them.
mailman.
It's not my business what they do with it. Yeah, I'm just the mailman. The
Do you want to
secret
buy your
mailman.
mail?
Yeah.
Secret Mailman by the creators of Secret Hitler. The abbess, if that's what we're calling her, I can't remember, is in her office. She looks like she's lost about 50 pounds.
That
You want
was
to buy
his
some
friend.
drugs?
Those are mine. I will kindly thank you to return them to right here.
Yeah, but for money though, right?
I think they're Goras's.
All right, then take them. I don't care anyway.
No, I want to sell them to you.
I don't want them, but thank you.
Okay. Oh, that's fair enough.
So, mind telling me what that was all about?
You people are absolute idiots. Everyone knew every step you were ever making, and we had to barter to get you out of jail.
So,
No,
what part of that
was
explains
harsh.
how the monster hunters, the people you and I, Nine, have been plotting and scheming against for several
I haven't plotted and
acts.
schemed against. I just do what you say for money.
You and
They
I, in this
absolutely-
together, You know, at the heart of the whole thing, I'm really the brains, you're really the brawn. You know,
Sure.
it's an undeniable truth. It truly is. And
No, I'm the brain.
You weren't here yet. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
This
okay,
is
I'm the
before-
brains now, though, right?
Yes. Listen.
Yes,
lady,
you're the chosen one.
you mind explaining
they-
to me why our sworn enemies told me to go back to doing exactly the same thing that we've been... How... I don't even get that. The exact same thing we've been doing is actively fighting against them. Why on earth would they tell us to do that? Is that just a... her, keep it up and see what happens? Like, they seemed fairly earnest that we should do something,
No.
or they were gonna, you know, they were going to just finish
Here's
it all.
the sequence of events here, right? They knew you were a bunch of cultists since you started the cult. They didn't bother messing with you. Then I showed up. And then these people showed up. And we're all going to become saints. And they can't stop us. So they tried to stop us and failed. Then they gave up. Now they want us to become saints because they hate their saints. And they have no idea how to make us saints. So you're going to do it.
I wouldn't know the
Because
first
that's
thing about
what you
that.
Killing the other ones is the first step.
Well, I suppose we can work toward that. They...
I can't
It
guarantee that
pains-
they're not going to just, like, booby trap everything and then kill you anyway, but we're why you're alive now, so...
It pains me to the innermost core of my soul, but I fear that I have received undeniable proof that our great and mighty God has been temporarily inconvenienced by the monster hunters, and will likely be too busy to be speaking directly to us for quite some time. That being said, I'm not exactly sure what the next step was supposed to be.
They told us to go kill some people belonging to a wizard or something. I wasn't really paying attention. That's one of these two got the notes.
I guess it's good that you know what to do then.
Not really. It's really far away.
We need to
And
go
apparent-
to the casino where our good friend was married originally and just kill everyone.
A
is what we're
casino?
told.
Like, how big of a casino are we talking? There are a few within a couple hundred.
It was like 800 miles. It's like way over there. It's certainly beyond.
Did they
your
want you to
sphere of
go all the
influence.
way to Silverheart's Bay?
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one that Asha got married at. We should ask Asha. I'm pretty sure that Asha would know.
Vaguely Iglik screaming comes from the street outside.
Yeah, so can you help get us there without us just walking?
We do have a boat. You remember boat 9?
The one I
The one on
stole
which we
last night?
schemed so... Oh. What?
Yeah, that's how we made the whole freeing you thing. We used the boat to talk to the people.
Well, the boat will take you a certain... You can't... You can't exactly circumnavigate the entire continent. That would be probably the slowest way to do it.
Do you have a portal over there?
We have a portal, yes, but it doesn't, go to other places in our worlds.
Can we use another world as a benchmarking point and just sort of slingshot back to this one into a different area?
I mean, you could if you knew where a portal was somewhere else.
You know, the Half-Life theory.
The what now?
Yeah, that was the plot of that game. Look,
What on earth are you talking about, Nine?
You're starting to sound like me.
I suppose, in theory, if you found a world and you knew that there was a portal on the other side somewhere and it was a straighter shot in that other world to get there, I suppose you could... Oh gosh, nobody's seen the wizard, have they? Gosh, what was the wizard's
apparently
name?
he
Not a
escaped.
while. He gave me a bunch of Arcanicide,
Oh, goodness.
Magicide. They're all on these grenades strapped to me right here. I'll just shift the belt.
Interesting.
Shifting their perspective from a bandolier full of oil vials to now a bandolier covered in grenades as I spin it around. And then they just kind of left after they gave me all this.
All right. Well, if you could get a hold of him, he'd probably be able to help you far better than I could. I've never stepped through a portal myself. I wouldn't know the first thing about them.
These people carry portals. They can just do that wherever. Hey, call that guy up.
Yeah, do you wanna just like try a portal real quick? Cause I could just make one right here.
What do you mean by try? I would prefer to not to, I suppose.
Oh, if you don't want to, I won't force you to. But
No, thank you.
If you ever feel like trying not, you said you'd never stepped through a portal before, so I figured.
Oh no, that was a very deliberate choice. Yes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I will say you
Call
don't
up-
know what you're missing out on.
Call up the wizard. Ask him where he's at.
Oh yeah, I can yes, call. I will cast call on the wizard.
It's like Call
Dial
Lightning,
him.
but with wizards.
Call wizard.
It's easier if there's already a wizard in the sky.
You better know Featherfall or that's on him and the floor.
So as I cast the spell, I'll say, "Hey, it's Goras. You gave me all the grenades and stuff. Where are you? We need help, especially with portals."
He responds
that
with
part of the
maniacal
spell.
laughter.
Part of the spell is that they know who it's from,
Nope,
regardless.
doesn't matter to Goras. Nope. Hey, it's me. It's the chosen one. I just gotta.
He goes, ha 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 ha. I have killed thousands.
He has killed thousands.
Cool.
Also, yes, I intentionally bloat my sending spells with useless words because it's Goras. Like,
Perfect.
hi, hello, Mr. Sir.
Ask him if he can do us a favor and teleport us to a
You
casino.
want me to? Okay, I could do it again. Sure, that's fine. Excuse me. You've killed thousands. Yes, that's excellent. But can you do us a favor? We need to be teleported to a casino. Should be lots of fun. You should come with.
Some part of that was cut off, but I couldn't keep track.
The president of magic is a gracious god, and will grant your request.
So he said the president of magic is a gracious god and will grant a. Oh, I see. I thought he killed that one a while ago. I guess
No,
he
he
must
killed
have
the
become...
king of magic. He's the president.
Oh, the president of magic. You're right.
He did
Okay,
claim to be the
that's-
king of magic.
So he's the king of magic. Is he the president now, or did he kill the
I don't know.
president?
Maybe they went through
Is there a new president?
democratic revolution. It's really not our business.
Would you like to ask him?
I think that before we do anything else, we should get back with the others. That
I'm just
three of
gonna-
us don't teleport across the realm and leave someone counting eggs.
You know what? No, Goras is not smart enough to not spend half of his daily resources on phone calls. So, yes,
You've done it before.
I have. So are you the president of magic now? I thought you were the king of magic. Just figuring things out here.
The many men of me are convoluted. The politics of me, even more so.
He sounds. If the music were words, I think it's kind of.
He is the lyrics of the music.
Yes, he speaks so poetically. It's got some beauty to it. He said, the many men of me are complicated, and their politics are too. It was very deep. It's an inner struggle he's dealing with, but I think it was a yes.
Cool. I'm gonna turn back to the lady and go, do you have any money?
How much do you want?
I've got money.
All.
I cannot give you all. I don't know what I have at the moment.
Well, when we were raiding this place before, and we stole all the drugs, I noticed you had several safes that probably have money in them.
I'm not giving you that. That's our operating capital.
Well,
If
so
I gave
far,
you that, I'd be directly going against what the monster hunters told us, and that would mean all of us will
Aren't
probably
we
die.
the operation? After
we're-
all,
we're their operation. I think you're supposed to
I
continue.
gave you
so that
people
you can
2,000 gold. It was all for you. You've burned through it already?
get 2,000.
Yes.
Wait a minute. What about 2,000 gold?
You gave me 1,000. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've been hit very hard repeatedly in the head over the last several hours and haven't gotten any sleep. I gave
Lizard,
you quite. I gave
Lizard,
that
were you
one
supposed
quite a
to
lot
give
of
us
gold
1,000?
to share with all of you for your business expenses.
First off, it was 1,000. Second, I backhand him.
You didn't give
I
him
don't
3
think
more
more
tries.
trauma to the head is gonna help.
No, I'm backhanding Solaire. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
You're really starting to push your luck there, Lizard.
Then he gets another swing.
Goodness.
Thank God you roll well. It's a shame you can't hit worth shit.
I don't even care how much trash you talk. You call me Lizard one more goddamn time, I'll knock your ass out.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you people don't seem to be helpful to us. So we're gonna go.
Thank you for stopping in.
Just leave.
Well, we got some cool things out of coming here, at least.
Mm.
We got all these rings. Ever since we got them, I've been casting into this one here. It should be nice and juiced up.
The nearest
Terrific.
door to you opens up, and you see the vastness of the astral sea beyond it. The wizard comes floating slowly, dressed in a majestic flowing red robe from it, and the door swings shut behind him. He hovers above the ground. His beard is very long.
I will bow and address him as, Your Presidency.
He bows in return.
Did you perhaps see somebody named Antonin while you were traveling?
Oh, yes.
I have met many, but that one was not one of them. I would know if he was, for I would remember him, but I do not.
Oh, we'll find him
Okay.
eventually. I'm sure he's fine.
Well met, Chosen One. Others?
Well met, Your Presidency. Is that what you call a president? I feel like Your Highness is for a king.
That which you call me is that which I am. What you call me is what I will be. Call me what you will, for I will. You told me that you desired transportation.
Goris sheds a single tear.
Yeah, we have to go get the idiot that's hanging out at the egg shop and our dozen or so children that she wants.
How many eggs?
Like
What?
900.
That is
A lot of eggs.
That is an unfortunate number of eggs, very inauspicious. We must reduce that number considerably.
What would be an auspicious number of eggs?
His eyes roll back in his head for a second.
Just curious.
Always comes back to the egg.
We do want things to be as auspicious as possible.
Expicious.
392 is the proper number of the eggs.
How many?
Ah, shit, the rest of the eggs only hatch.
What was the auspicious number?
392.
Are they still boiled?
I don't know. The ones that remain probably are. These ones hatch into tiny little. They look like a cross between a fairy, a pixie, and a fairy and a pixie. I mean, a fairy slash a pixie, and a dragon, and they just kind of fly away into the sun.
You know, fairy dragons.
Yeah, those things.
No, I paid for those.
I guess you paid for some fairy dragons. Bless their little hearts.
Well, then they're mine. I demand that they get back here and get into my cauldron.
Can you come back here? I want to cook you. Can you give me persuasion, please?
Fairy dragons are an excellent source of getting really high.
You scream at the sun. People look at you like you're crazy.
Why? I can't imagine.
They all disappear.
The people?
The fairy dragons.
Freaking guess I don't need backpacks now.
You feel yourself being pulled inexorably backward. If you tilt your head,
Well-
you can see the children are being sucked into a hole in the ground. You are being pulled
What?
toward this hole yourself.
Well, I'm gonna grab the cauldron with the eggs
It
as
unfortunately
best
has
I
wheels
can.
on it, and
God
it
damn it.
comes with you.
Okay.
You are pulled into this hole. And you arrive outside. I say you arrive. You are vomited out of a hole. Children sprawled all across the street as they are also vomited out
And
into the
none of
ground outside the museum.
None of the people who were boiling eggs happened to have fallen into this hole.
This is after you already got all your eggs boiled.
Damn, I waited that long. I hope I didn't prepay for the backpacks.
Given the last egg, and you were like, all right.
You certainly would
How
have
to
paid
get
for
the
the
best
backpacks in advance if you commissioned them.
Oh, freaking wonderful. And all I got was 5 of them?
You have 5, yes.
God damn it. This is not my day. You have any idea the amount of math I did?
Too much.
It's just punishment for doing math.
All people should
That's
be punished for
usually a
doing that.
wizard's problem.
What do you do? Ah, shit.
Well, I swear a lot.
Understandable. The orphans are all just utterly terrified.
Start counting my eggs, I guess. What do I have left?
392.
Christ.
I think those mountains become the dubstep mountains once Goras inhabits them.
Perfect.
I'll make sure the orphans are alive.
They do seem to all be alive.
Oh, thank God. I don't need any more blood on my hands today.
That was last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we?
In front of the cult museum.
Okay. Why am I here?
The president of magic floats out the door.
We're following.
Greetings, he says to you, hovering above the ground in his floating red robe. His long beard
Yeah.
touching the ground.
Yeah, hi.
Your eggs
Are
are
you
far more
responsible?
auspicious now. Be
You're not
grateful.
becoming a god too, are you?
Oh no, that is far beneath me.
How could I become more auspicious? Oh, great president.
I would not deign to
So
instruct
why
the chosen
did you
one
not
in
deal with the
auspiciousness.
problem here instead of just running?
I don't understand what you mean.
I'm sure you don't.
It's beneath him or whatever.
What you
Let's go
consider
to a casino.
problems are whiskers on the face of the cosmos. It is not that they do not concern me, it is that I do not concern them. That is neither beneath me nor above me. It is somehow inside me.
So a lot of words to say you ran like a bitch when shit happened here.
That
If you-
organization of words is a strange thing in the face of the cosmos. It rings with truth in a way I cannot comprehend.
No, yeah, if you said that they don't concern you, but if you wanted to concern them, could you?
I am concerned by this line of reasoning. I can do only what I promised, for what I promised is something that cannot be unpromised. I was not the one who promised it, however, but I will fulfill it nonetheless.
You've been giving drugs to this guy, Goras.
Yeah, do you want to do a hit of sawdust?
I can if you want some.
That would inexorably change the paths of destiny of one who is not among us and whom we will never meet.
Yeah, that
Let
might be
us do
fun.
it.
Yeah, by all means. Here, I'll just hold out the brick. It's like I had like a third of a brick left, and now it's scraped a bit.
He delicately scrapes some, snorts it, and then
Like
disappears.
a regular, normal human amount
Yes,
that isn't
yes.
prodigious at all.
Not at all. It's just a
Is
normal
that-
amount.
I just have a question. Is that an auspicious amount? Is that the amount I should try to
He
go
vanished
for in the
before
future?
you could finish that
Oh.
sentence.
I'm just gonna assume that every time I'm gonna offer somebody exactly that much every time. I think that'll really improve our luck.
390 granules.
Exactly.
392.
No, my bad.
And we are going to end there for tonight. Thank you for your patience.
Perfect.
Well, thank
That
you.
was an
That
interesting
was a lot of
session.
fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
Eggs and drugs.
And dead children. That's,
Eggs and drugs and eggs and drugs and eggs and drugs. Dead children.
Next time we play, you're gonna be like, and last time you played, 2 kids died, and then you talked about eggs for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I remember.
Eggs for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the recap. For next session, that's going to be epic.
I wasn't physically present for most of it, and me as a person wasn't mentally present for most of it because I was calculating eggs. That didn't end up mattering.
It did nothing but calculate eggs for 2 hours.
It's
Perfect.
best that it ended this way.
Thank you, Yell, for playing.
Thank you for running.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you very much.
I
You're
like that you
welcome.
rolled a D900 so that it literally could not have been. You should have. No, that's too many eggs. You need more eggs.
Oh, I wish I'd thought of that. I should have rolled D900 and added to it.
Asha's pulling
Dang
the
it.
card along, and suddenly egg just fall from the sky in a big like
Oh, God.
sploosh into the rest of the egg.
I'm not paying for those. Those are